Genie grind, I wish I'm getting rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fight a bitch, what? Willie when I made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucker gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit above for that one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100.
Hello world, I am What If Studier. Today we are doing What If the Humans were actually useful. Not to say that they weren't useful before, but just to give them the chance. Just to give them what they've always needed. The little push, of tumultuous, energy that I'm going to have to do. Alright, let's slip right into it. I'm not going to do any editing, actually, on this one. Sorry. Just a little editor's note. Funnily enough. So, Goku in the middle of the fight with Demon King Piccolo. While they're fighting in this huge, echoes and clashes all around, and, Tien is just sitting there, powerless. He's going to take this to heart. After all, Tien was never powerless before this. Until Goku had showed up, right? Even though Goku was so powerful, Tien saw that he needed a little push. Something to keep him going. After all, he was fighting for his family. Tien decided to shout at Goku. Keep fighting for all of us. Trying to give him a little bit more of a confidence boost. However, this only gets the attention of Demon King Piccolo. Demon King Piccolo slyly gets a hand out in the middle of the fight, shooting a beam straight through Tien's heart. Tien collapses onto the ground, completely immobilized from all of this. Demon King Piccolo laughs maniacally, saying, "Now he has joined his other friends, and you shall too, Goku." As this enrages Goku to no end. Tien is still alive, however, as his third eye is actually looking around. After all, I think his third eye grants him special powers that we'd have no idea about and are never told. So I'm just gonna make up shit as I go. Just implied, as you might say. The third eye is able to look up even though Tien is bleeding out from the chest. As he's staring at the fight, and Goku, Demon King Piccolo sees this rage boost that Goku is putting out. This does put Goku over Piccolo. However, Piccolo uses this rage to his advantage, killing Goku in the middle of their fight. But Goku is able to go straight through the beam that is shot at him, and rockets straight through Demon King Piccolo's chest, killing both of them. Demon King Piccolo, because he was too focused on killing Goku, is unable to reproduce, and Goku died from having to go straight through the beam and having his rage used against him. Tien remarks in his mind, "I'll have to keep that in mind." As Tien is now dead, as he sees Chaozu in his afterlife and is actually quite happy with also Krillin there too, as he begins to talk with Krillin about the follies of his friend. However, Krillin doesn't want to talk about that. He just wants to talk about how they're going to fix it instead of the sadness of their current situation. But Tien also remarks something is different about the world. They've lost something. Even though they have won, they've still lost something. As he starts to look down on top of the world, going to fortune teller Baba and actually asking her to give him a little sight on the world. As fortune teller Baba gives him this favor. After all, Goku has just died, and she still cared for the little kid. But soon she will see him, and he'll become part of her fighters. She's in a happy mood, so she does give him a little sight on the world. He sees Launch crying as the first thing. He feels... Now he feels bad about dying. God damn it. I didn't want to... I could never make her cry. I must return as fast as I can. But then she says, "Oh, but there's another thing," as she looks up to the lookout. Tien's like, "Where is this?" As this time in the story, nobody knew about the lookout, except Goku, because Goku had been there a little time before, but Popo didn't allow him in. And all he sees is Kami dead on the floor. And Popo just stressed, just like crying for him. He's like, "What is happening? Is that?" And she's like, "That's Earth Guardian." And she explains everything to Tien. As Tien feels horrible now for killing Piccolo, however, he didn't do it himself. He sees Goku up in heaven also. And, both Krillin and Chaozu and, Tien all sort of are waiting to be revived now. As Tien teaches Krillin how to, meditate and think upon things. However, Kami meets them up there too, which is a very interesting prospect. Goku, however, does not meditate. He goes off to King Kai's, as he thinks that he's going to have a lot of fun. As he's going to think, it's just another training partner, right? So Goku's on his way to King Kai's there. However, King Kai meets with, Piccolo, Kami meets up with the humans, saying many things. Stuff like that you're going to have to face horrible threats in the future. They can only make one, wish on the Dragon Balls, and that is to revive everybody. As 1 year transpires, they train under Kami, and Kami actually tells them that, Goku's not going to want to go back. As they're all like shocked, they're like, "But Goku's like our only chance." He's like, "Yes, but Goku's impulsive, and he's reckless. He's going to let his power get ahead of him." And now that he's training with Kami, as I think he's made it oh wait, no, he'd get distracted. Yeah, no, he hasn't made it to Kami to King Kai's yet. That they need to go back to Earth. They need to defend the Earth for him. And they need each other to do it too. So Kami tells them that they must train together. They must create a bond like any other. To defend Earth, it's going to be hard. It's going to be incredibly hard. And none of them have to die now that he's dead. As they say, "Why?" As he says, "Your friends have gone to my home planet and wished on the Dragon Balls there to revive all three of you. However, when they tried to revive Goku, he did not accept. As Roshi is now dead too. Roshi wishes them well as they are teleported back down to, onto this other planet. All three of them looking at each other kind of lacklusterly. However, they look down as, Launch just launches herself at, at Tien, just rolling onto the ground as she gives him plenty of kisses. He's like, calm down, jeez. I guess I missed you too." She says, "Really?" As he's like, "Yeah." Krillin actually realizes, he's just like, "You too." As Yamcha looks forward and sees Bulma, as she looks up to him saying, "Good. It's nice to see that you're revived again." He says, "Do you have to be that harsh, Bulma? Come on, bring it in." As she's just like, "Why can I never resist you?" As she, they all have a warm communion. However, they say that Goku did not want to be revived, and they could come back here next year to revive him then. As they say, no. Tien says that, no, they will have to take care of the Earth themselves. They will be facing really hard opponents. Think about it this way. As he bends down onto the grass, he takes up a bowl from one of the Namekians out of their hands. After the Namekians were very cautious and were very happy to help them in their selfless goal. And he says, "Thank you for the bowl." He looks at the grass. He picks out one of the grass and he puts it in the bowl. He puts the bowl onto the ground and says that that's their power level compared to the others. This tiny piece of grass to this massive bowl. That's the strength that they have to make up for. Even all their training, as he picks out a couple more pieces of grass, maybe 5, he throws it into it. It barely even covering even 1/12 of it. That's what we're going to have to make up for. He told me that there's transformations out in the world that could help us, but I'm saying that we should do it without these. As he takes out all the grass and throws it. He says, we can do it together instead. As all of them are astonished by this, revelation by Tien, as he says, together. What do you mean together? Without transformations or anything to power us up, how are we going to win? Krillin remarks slightly. Good question. We will practice combos, and we shall defend the Earth with our own wills, not with cheats or anything to make us, way better for no reason. So what if we rage? So what if we get rage boosts or anything like that? They will only get in our way. We will do it ourselves. We are warriors, after all. We shall do everything pragmatically and not allow our emotions to get in our way. We shall defend the world by making a dojo, first of all. As all of them are like, okay, fine. As Chaozu is actually really excited for this because he's always wanted to be part of the dojo. And he's like, yes, and you shall be the vice headmaster. As they all make their way back to Earth, Tien also tells them all about what they're going to train towards. After all, Tien is very cautious about the future. Tien meticulously plans everything, which kind of cramps, Yamcha style. However, he's like, don't worry, Yamcha. I have a plan for you. You'll train with us 3 years from now. As Yamcha says, what do you mean? He says, this universe, it kind of needs some order. I think that you should gather some information for us. As he's like, what? You and Bulma should go out into the universe. You should find your own way. I mean, any alone time with Bulma is a okay time for me. And you kind of see, as you look at him, like if this was like a TV show, you kind of see the future of what he will become. After 3 years after this, Yamcha, we'll cover that in a minute. We get back to Earth, and Bulma starts making preparations for them, as they actually had a weight room inside of the, what do you call it? The gravity room inside of the thing that they were going back to Earth on. And they were like, this is incredible training. Like, it doesn't give them as much as the Saiyans, but it gives them plenty. Like, that's still a massive power up. And they're like, well, why don't we have this as our dojo? Like, why don't we have our main corridor be this? So they start to get to making it. But they need magical power to keep it flowing and keep it going. So Krillin, actually, who would step up for that? I think Chaozu would step up to do it, since he's not doing much else. And he actually levitates the whole entire academy up into the air, which actually gives it a really cool feel, as all of the spires around it that were crafted over like a year became pillars and different parts of the academy. This takes a lot of ki drain from Chaozu, and Tien shares his ki with him. However, Chaozu is able to take it down. If I was to compare the ki drain that it takes for Chaozu to keep it up for 7 years past, by the time that we finish our little expose, Chaozu is basically staying in Super Saiyan for base Goku. That's the type of drain that we're talking about. But after a year, he gets used to it. Like, he's able to keep it up 100 at a time. 100 every single day of the year. And is in a deep meditative state, as usually Tien is also. Tien and Krillin get to know each other very well. As Tien also wants to discover something himself, as he says that in 3 years they will reconvene too. He wants to discover more about his heritage, as Kami had told him about something about his eye was off to the Namekian. He has never heard of the three-eyed people, but he knows that it goes back way farther into the heritage of Earth. He shall be going for now, and Krillin shall take over the place. After all, this place becomes basically like Key Hogwarts. You know what I mean? Like, where you get to learn Key and stuff. Everybody, I wouldn't say everybody's bald, but yeah, I think everybody becomes bald because you have two grandmasters, both Tien and Krillin. Well, Krillin becomes like the grandmaster. And Chaozu is also bald. So, they're all like modeling themselves after them. As this massive place gets even more massive, as part of their side duties are to make it even bigger. And all you have above Capsule Corp is this massive, training dojo that spans even bigger than something like Hogwarts, and looks like it too, as it looks kind of Victorian. After all, they wanted it to have some cool atmospheres to it, and the main part of it is the gravity room, which they get many buffs out of. Krillin is mainly training all of them himself, but Tien, meanwhile, is deep within the earth, looking at texts, ancient things, telling him all about some ancient race, his own race. He discovers many things becoming so much clearer to him, as his eye starts to open more and more, but never gets over this hurdle that it's stopped at. Something in his heart is stopping him. After 3 years, Tien finally comes back in ragged clothes. A spaceship starts to descend from the sky, one decked out in lasers and different guns, and has a main central room in it, kind of looking much more sleek and more for space bounty hunting. As they all land, and actually land right in front of Tien, who was on his way back. He was sort of walking with a little limp, as he's all scarred up on his chest. The scar on his left breast had formed into multiple scars that spanned all the way down to his pelvis. As he's basically shirtless right now, as he's buff out the wazoo. However, his brain had been more training than his body. He looks up in a wise gaze as Tien and Yamcha both come out of there, sort of swinging around booze, are just like, finally home. Oh shit, as you, Tien. As they both lock eyes, and Tien and Yamcha's rivalry is ignited a little bit here, as Yamcha still had his sword at this point, actually, and had formed it into a laser sword at the tips of it, and said, "So, you want to hear some cool ass shit?" As Tien's like, "Please don't use profanity in front of me." As Bulma comes out of the ship, just like, "God, you'd exploded again?" As she comes out, she's like, "How many times do I have to tell you to not drink that?" "Oh, well, hello, Tien. Been a long time no see." As she hangs from the hanger, sort of, as her face is sort of blemished, as she kind of looks in her engineer sort of type. She says, "We have some wild stories to get through." He says, "I might have some as well. Shall we return to Capsule Corp together?" Yamcha says, "Sure, buddy," as he hangs over his arm onto Tien's shoulder and says, "You know, you and me, we're gonna go far." As he's like, yes, I know. I've seen the future." He says, "You can see the future?" As Yamcha kind of crushes Tien under on his shoulder, because Yamcha has been out in space training with the gravity room for so long, and Tien has been alone, secluded, training his mind. So basically, they all returned to Capsule Corp together. I say that this reunion is one beheld by massive fireworks, by and Launch actually shows herself out of the rubble, catching up with Tien. After all, Launch was with him, and was with the whole dungeon exploring kind of thing. Raiding tombs and all that different stuff had grafted her into a sort of more, hardened fighter, and she's decided that she wanted to fight with the Z fighters. So this reunion is a massive thing for the temple. After all, Krillin at this point is actually growing a little bit taller. After all, he's gotten a lot more confidence. He's much more part of a community, and he's much stronger this time. You see kind of a more buff Krillin. The only person that's not really buff is, Yamcha, I guess, or Bulma, because they've just been using the gravity chamber some of the time, but they've been hunting down people out in space. As there's massive fireworks as they enter the city, all of the students welcome them, greeting them, as Tien is amazed by their power levels. They all sit down at the massive table that was inside the gravity room. And Krillin welcomes them back with a happy face. I think I'll actually stop that there, because I'm getting too excited. And also tired. But I'll see you guys in the next one. See you sometime somewhere. Goodbye.
Genie grind, I wish I'm getting rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie when I made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucker gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit up, I feel like one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100.